looking up at the algorithms that they've got, that they can use, obviously through the NSA or whatever, and typically being gremlins out there whenever they want. I'm sure they could have the power to turn off the conversation anytime they needed to. That's what Edward Snowden.
Uh-oh. Hopefully you're still there. Yeah, see, I got a funny feeling I hit a subject here tonight that we shouldn't be talking about. So I'm going to try calling him back again. And let's see. Let's see if I can give him... Okay, let's give him another try. Well, that's what happens when you talk about things maybe you don't supposed to talk about, huh? Yeah, strange. Art Bell went through that. Every so often you'd have a guest on, and they would be talking about things they shouldn't be talking about. And bang, the phone line would go totally dead. Oh, well, let's see if we get him back on here. Well, let's see. Well, maybe he'll call back. But, that's one thing you got to be really careful. Like I was told, like your TV, if you got a smart TV or appliance, watch what you say around it, because they can monitor what you say. Again, like he was talking about a special bicycle and a special brand bicycle, which was a really funky name. And all of a sudden on his phone the next day, it was appearing on his phone. Makes you really wonder, like, wow. And have you ever gone into Walmart and you left the house and you're telling your wife, I'm going to go look for this item? You go walking into Walmart and you pick up your phone, right? And you just look to see if you have any messages. And that thing you were talking to your wife about starts appearing on your phone. Walmart has it on sale or something.
Hi, this is Laura. Please leave a message. I'll call you back. Bye.
Uh-oh. Okay, Michael, if you're out there, please call back again at 1-253-203-6695. 1-253-203-6695. I almost feel like, do you want to go for a ride? Well, call 1-253-203-6695. Well, let's give him another try again and see if we can get him back on the phone. Maybe we should talk about cars or something like that, and I bet you we wouldn't lose the line. Well, let's see. Boy, the weather, though, up here in Gig Harbor, Washington, I'll tell you, it's supposed to have been cloudy today. I woke up, a little bit. I slept in probably till like 9 o'clock, got outside, and it was just totally beautiful. You are back. See, I proves a point. We're still yeah. And another thing that was really interesting, and I know we're not talking about UFOs right now, but I'm going to say this. It was really funny. When I first started doing the shows, my son was helping me. And, that's when I decided not to, I pretty much wanted to do it by myself at that point. But he mentioned about the supreme leader of North Korea. And he made some little joke about him coming out of the closet.
Ooh.
Okay, I didn't think nothing of it. I just thought I said it was a bad thing to say. Well, the next morning I look at the server, and it breaks down how many people are listening in what countries.
Yes.
I never had, and it has happened only twice, and it's both times he mentioned about the supreme leader of North Korea. But
my goodness!
All of a sudden there was the flag, the little box. And guess what? Somebody listened, a government official, because it shows it. Listened to I don't know how much of the show, but they tuned in, and I started thinking, "Ooh, that is strange," because it never happened before. And then about 2 weeks later, again, we were talking with another guest. I think that was the CIA ex-agent or retired agent. We just mentioned it, right? What happened? The next morning, I look at the printout, from our server, and there it was again.
Wow. And I'm forgetting what the code is, but I've heard that there are certain data you can put into your own computer to find out who has been tapping into your personal PC as well.
Oh, yeah.
which organizations and things. I was
right
surprised.
now it's Russia, because virtually every router out there probably in this country is infected right now. Yeah, you still there?
I'm still here, but sometimes you're cutting out, so hopefully I can hang in.
Yeah. Okay, maybe, are you using a cell phone, or what are you using there tonight, Michael? Okay, let's see if you come back in here and fade back in.
I can jump on a landline real quick.
Yeah, why don't you do that real quick here, because we got about another 20 minutes, and yeah, you keep dropping out.
I will be gone for just a second, and I'll be right back with you.
Okay, sir. But that makes you guys, wonder, like what you can say and what you can't say, both on your telephone, around your own TV, your laptop in your bedroom, or what you even post on the internet. You got to be careful. It shocked me. I mean, evidently, just like our country watches for key words on the internet, I'm sure, all these other countries out there, they got the same people in their country that do the same thing that they do in our country, looking for key words on the internet. So you got to be really careful what you say and you don't say. But it's scary. And I don't want to get any more into conspiracies. But the reason why I brought the conspiracy thing up is very simple. The UFOs. Even what they're releasing now, the little tidbits of the government saying about maybe UFOs and aliens. Then about a couple days later, they seem somebody else in the government is like debunking what the other person said. That's like you got two people, right, working for the same organization. One goes, yeah, we make widgets. The next person says, no, we don't make widgets. I mean, that's the bad part. But they seem to be, more and more letting little information out, little bit, I think not to shock the people. Because remember Orson Welles, War of the Worlds. Now, that was before internet and before TV. They had their radio. But how many people didn't tune into the beginning of that show when he said it was a radio play? And they tuned in, and the first thing they heard about the aliens attacking, destroying communities, destroying big buildings, killing all these people, people started panicking. The farmers started grabbing their guns and they got out on their cars. They, started driving around looking for the spaceships. Naturally, they didn't exist, but they were out there looking, and people were panicking. A few people actually even jumped out of buildings. I'm not talking about the Depression era people. I'm talking about from Orson Welles, because they, got scared. And one guy killed his family because he thought it was better that he kill him rather than going for that horror, what could happen with the aliens. So that's what's scary. So I don't know if the government came out right now and said, hey, look, they are aliens out here. I don't know. A group of us would probably say, yeah, we've been waiting for a long time. Then, you'd have the other. Okay, let's see. Okay, who do we have here?
This is Michael calling back in. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem. I was just talking about how people would respond about, Orson Welles, the War of the Worlds, how some of the facet of the population totally panicked when they thought we were being invaded. And like I was mentioning, one family guy killed his whole family because he thought it would be better that he kill him rather than going through what would happen with the aliens.
Wow.
And that's what's scary. Also scary that he didn't end up in prison for that broadcast. But yes, times have changed. Now you got the Secretary of the Air Force, mentioning, like I just said earlier, the next war won't be a land war. It'll be in outer space. And that's what really has me concerned because, like I said earlier, you can take it one of two ways.
Yes. You know, there is an interesting story about that War of the Worlds broadcast that I can relate to you, that brings it back home to the state of Washington, if you'd like, if you've got some time, or if you need to go on to another subject, we can do that as well.
Oh, no. Well, hey, you're looking for UFOs tonight, so why not?
There you go. Well, this is a fascinating story because the background of Orson Welles' broadcast was that he had done quite a few of these adaptations of books into basically radio plays, and he was getting very popular. Of course, he had already been one of the most popular directors on Broadway up to this point. He was a kid genius, basically. He was only 24 years old in the War of the Worlds broadcast, by the way. So he comes up with this new script. He knows that it's going to be kind of shocking, so he does have this little disclaimer up front before this show begins that this is a play and an adaptation from H.G. Wells's novel, War of the Worlds. But what he did is he timed it because opposite of his show, on another network was the most popular show at the time being, which was the guy with Edgar Bergen and his puppets was the most popular show. And he knows that as soon as people finish with dinner, and at about 8 o'clock in the evening, they're going to turn on Edgar Bergen first and see what kind of a sketch he's got planned for them. And then what typically happens is after the first set that Edgar Bergen does, there's a musical interlude of some orchestra playing from a hotel somewhere. And that was kind of their commercial time on the radio back in the 1930s. And that's exactly when Orson Welles timed his script to get into the real details of these Martians invading the Earth. And when people were channel surfing, they came across this broadcast and thought it was real. Now, here's the kicker that brings it back to the state of Washington. The little town of Concrete, Washington, up here in the North Cascades, heard the broadcast like everyone else did, but something unique happened at the exact time that the broadcast was on the air. There was a massive power failure in their community. All the lights went out and all the power went out. The phones did not go out, of course. So what they did from Concrete is they were getting on the phone and saying, "Oh my gosh, the power is out. They've hit all of our power plants, and we are being invaded." And of course, that news went around the world as fast as anything could back in those days, and that was one of the incidents that helped spread that entire panic. Was the little town of Concrete, Washington, just happening to have a power failure at the same time the broadcast was on.
Oh yeah, that just bet it, big time. I was reading like the one Midwest farmer that killed his family because he was so scared that the aliens were going to come and destroy his family, and he didn't want that to happen, and he thought it would be better, to take a shotgun and do it that way. It's so scary. I still, part of me says if something really like that actually happened, I think a certain amount of people could accept it, that a spaceship landed in, Washington, D.C. I think, a group of people would really accept it. Then you're going to have another a group of people that are going to panic and freak out. And, naturally they're going to say the world's now coming to an end. And then you're going to have maybe the third group, the militia, is going to go in there and, I don't know. I don't know. What's still bad is, the government's leaking out a little bit here, but each time they leak it out, a couple days later, there's somebody trying to debunk it in another government agency.
Yes, yeah. Well, the famous Canadian ufologist Grant Cameron has a theory about that. He says that this has been going on for at least 40 years with this soft disclosure, he calls it, where they actually leak something.